More than 20 years have passed since I've searched these wild Italian landscapes alone. Years that I've talked their culture, lived their ways, and found myself that piece of me within it. But you cannot share this beauty alone. So after months in the making, this happened.
Welcome back to day 3 of this Italian adventure I'm having with Ed Rhodes, Paul Thompson and Tom Peters. As you can see, that is the castle. It's a beautiful castle. They call it the Rocca Calascio. It's got probably a really interesting story behind it, but I don't know. I should do some more research on it. It is a fortress. It's old. It's very old. I'm going to show you some panoramas later on of how high up we are. We're sitting at about 1,700 metres above sea level. And yesterday there was beautiful conditions. Unfortunately, I wasn't too well yesterday. We had some cloud diversions, which were really, really good. And the guys who were up over there had an absolute ball taking these shots. And this morning, that is not the case, because down in the valley below us, it's quite clear. So these clouds aren't going to come through. If they do, they might rush in from a distance. But they'd have to come in pretty damn quick, because it's almost sunrise. As you can see, there's a few wispy clouds, not the best conditions. I've shot this place in probably the best conditions, so for those of you who know the image I got here, I got a cloud inversion about 8 years ago that actually rose so high that it almost completely covered the fortress and had the sun coming through the back, just peeking through the tower, and it was incredible. Hopefully a bit of cloud movement, which is coming in from Emperor's Field on the other side of us there, might rush through on the last second and give us something a bit extra, because at the moment it's just like it's going to be open blue skies, and you know I hate blue skies, so let's see what happens. I've got my 15 to 30 lens out today, and I'm shooting very, very wide because I want to get this valley section that's all sort of down into here, which you can see. I'll bring this up. As you can see, I always shoot with my white alerts coming, my highlight alerts coming up, so I know to not cut them, and I use that as actually my exposure the majority of the time. So that's my general frame here. It's a little bit underexposed. We've got some cloud movement coming in now, so I'm just going to show you what I do is here. I'm going to focus in at this rock formation, which is just sitting in this section here. I use contrast detection in live view to focus. I know it's lazy, but it's accurate. After years of experience of using this camera, I know it's very, very accurate. I'm going to shoot at f11. My histogram here looks quite good. I'm not clipping anything. All the information seems to be quite well in the frame.
Yes. So, pleased to meet you. That's Luigi.
So after that morning we had up at the castle, the light wasn't that great, and so we packed up our gear, and we're now here in this beautiful other part of Abruzzo now with Luigi. Remember Luigi from the Wild Italy series?
Italy, yeah. Brutto Italy.
So we're just caught up with Luigi now, as you saw from the scene before. We met up in a little town, and we've now travelled up into the hills. What's the name of this area we're in now?
Intermesoli.
Did you see that? How good is that little town? Luigi's just taken us about 20 minutes up the hill from where we're staying, and that is the first view we got. How beautiful is it? We've got two series of mountains here. Beautiful mountains. One's called the Camel Toe, translation into from Italian. And the other one's called the Corno Piccolo, which means the small horn of Gran Sasso. And we're going to travel up, but just look at that view. Isn't that beautiful, that little town there, huh? Just gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, we have just arrived at the top of this mountain that Luigi's taken us to. My God, you guys have got no idea. We've travelled through an ancient forest, which we're going to go back and have a look at later on. The most gnarliest trees I've ever seen. And we've now hit the top of this peak with all this green vegetation around. And we're going to go and check out these mountains. Guys, come over here and check this out. This is insane. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Bughead have just walked up this crest to get to this spot, and my God. I am totally blown away. Totally blown away. I honestly didn't think that you could get something this good in this part of Italy. Look at that mountain behind you. Look at the conditions. It's absolutely insane. We haven't got our cameras with us right now because, as you can see, it's very, very bright right now. It's currently 4:30 in the afternoon. We've got sunset around 7:38. I cannot wait to get the tripod out, sit up on this beautiful grassed crest here, just taking in that mountain. And I think the conditions are going to be just epic because there's just a few wispy clouds around. Because that mountain is so high, you know, over... Luigi, a che altezza sta il Grande Sasso, il Cono Grande? 3,000 metres, almost 3,000 metres it's sitting at. So we're going to get that turbulence around it. Those wispy clouds are going to stick like glue to that mountain. Well, I hope they do anyway. And we're going to get some just amazing, amazing conditions tonight. And yeah, I can't wait to take them, to kick back, pull the tripod out with friends, enjoying the same hobby and just loving landscape photography at its best. This is landscape photography at its best. And wow, we've got 2 more days left and I'm just stoked out of my mind. Luigi, come over here.
Yeah.
You've been, how many times have you been to this location?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And what's your impression of the place? I mean, after every time you come back, are you still blown away every time you come here? Or is it
something like always? It's the first time for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a surprise.
Yeah.
Because conditions are changing.
Yeah, different light.
So every day is different. But I think that this evening we will have some nice...
I'm sure we're going to get some epic conditions. I'm sure of it. Like I said in my other videos, if you haven't seen his channel, go and check it out. I'll leave up the links.
Like a highlight, isn't it? I always have that on.
I guarantee you, if I was to shoot this, two stops up there.
So we haven't left. We didn't go down to the forest scene. We're staying here because the conditions are they're going to peak and we're going to get sunset soon. We're going to hang around and take some great shots. And the cloud movement is insane now. Guys are all setting up and we're having an absolute ball. And the light is coming in now. God, I've got to get that, guys. Look at that.
So this is the scene I'm bringing up. I don't know if you can see it too well. I'll overexpose my highlights so you can see pretty much how I'm approaching the scene. See, I've got this lovely foreground, sort of just coming through and sweeping around up into the background. I'm shooting at 24. I don't want to shoot at any further back at 15, just because it just blows the perspective focally out of this mountain. So 24 mils is probably my limit. I'm actually shooting about 26 mils. So I'm exposing, because we've still got the sun's still out and the highlights are really, really harsh at the moment. So I'm shooting, basically I'm using contrast detection again to focus into the first third of the scene, which I've done here now, and then I'll basically turn my highlight warning right down so I'm not clipping any more highlights, which is right now. I've got a Kase polarizer on, as you saw. I was polarizing before to get that ready. Brilliant new Kase polarizer, K150p, with the polarizer in there just to get a little bit more dynamics in those details in the clouds, and just cut off just a tad of that haze.
This is what landscape photography is all about. So we stayed here. It's still not sunset yet. We've got that beautiful mountain light, that time of day where the sun sort of is about an hour away from the horizon, and you've got that beautiful golden colours coming through. Just look behind how beautiful that is. Amazing, isn't it, Ed?
It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yeah, just wouldn't think we're just going to get conditions just like this. Like, how lucky are we? My God, it's freezing now. The sun has gone down. Unfortunately, as we're getting the sunset, the clouds that were on the mountain crest there almost like evaporated. There were so many of them and they just disappeared into nowhere. So we didn't get any colour in the clouds, but we still got really good conditions. And now it's time to head back to our refuge hut where we're sleeping the night. Have a nice dinner, friends, bit of wine, good Italian food. The lady back at the refuge hut, she's cooking up goat for us tonight, so I'm absolutely hanging to have some of that. And from here in Abruzzo, high up, about 2,500 metres, with Gran Sasso National Park and the beautiful north face behind me here. Yeah, see you next time. Can't wait to come back to this location.
Grazie Luigi. Thanks Luigi. Thanks guys, thanks for awesome trip. It's been brilliant. Back on the red plate. We need this food. Don't forget these guys. Luigi, you like this place?
Yeah, very nice.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
This is fettuccine with mushroom, porcini mushroom, white fettuccine with porcini mushrooms.
And you guys, what are you having there, mate?
Ragu,
Okay.
lamb ragu.
Lamb ragu.
Chicken nuggets.
Bye.